wanted to take a few moments to talk to you all about DBAs. As you can see on the right here, we have a little outline as to what we're going to talk about today. First, we're going to talk about what are DBAs, don'ts and do's. And you might say, well, isn't it supposed to be do's and don'ts? Well, in most cases, but with respect to DBAs, don'ts is going to come first because I want to make sure you don't do certain things with respect to the DBAs. We're going to talk how to prepare for it and then how to schedule them. All right, so what on earth, right, is a DBA? Well, for our school, the formal name, right, is a discussion-based assessment. However, as scientists, and as you know, I've already mentioned it to you in our welcome call, I like to think of us in this class as I am the senior scientist, you are the junior scientist, so we conduct a lot of our discussions and a lot of what we do in here very much like you would if you were working for me in a lab. So instead of thinking as DBAs as a discussion-based assessment, I would like for you to think about it as a discussion before your assessment. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what you've learned, what you thought was important. We're going to address any questions or misconceptions that you have, and then we're both going to make sure that you feel confident to succeed in your test. All right. So let's move on to the don'ts and do's. So first of all, the reason I put don'ts first is because I don't want you to panic. This is nothing to get stressful about. I mean, if you have a dentist appointment afterwards, then that I would consider that a lot more stressful, right, than any DBA that you're going to do with me. So I don't want you to get stressed out or worked up about it. It's just a conversation between you and I. Don't put them off. Right? Sometimes I think the notion, oh my gosh, I got to call my teacher and talk to her about this, sometimes I think students put it off. Don't do that because that is going to impede your learning. The longer you put it off, the greater the chance you can forget some of the material that you covered in the module, and then the greater the chance that you're not going to perform as well as you had hoped on the module exam, right? So don't put them off. Lastly, don't come unprepared. So, in a few moments here, we're going to talk about how to prepare for them. What I do want you to do is when you are about a day or two away or more, right, from being ready to do your DBA, please reach out to me. You can go on the appointment scheduler, which is located here, as you can see on our homepage. I took a little snippet of it. Right? It's right there, appointment scheduler. Find a day and time that works for you. And please note that the times that are listed there are in EST, Eastern Standard Time. Okay? So make sure you do the time change accordingly so that you know when we're really making the appointment for. Once you schedule the appointment, you'll get a confirmation as to when you need to contact me. If you're going to call me, that is fine. Or if you're going to use Zoom, that is fine. If you are an international student, and your choices, I would recommend, right, that we use either Zoom or Skype. This way there is no international calling fee for you, okay? So, how do we prepare for this? Well, maybe it might help you if I tell you right now what my first question always is, regardless of which DBA we're doing. So my first question to you is always going to be, what did you think were 3 of the most important concepts that they covered in this module? The reason I ask that is because, one, I'm legitimately interested in hearing what you thought was most important. Secondly, if we start our conversation about talking about things that you thought were most important and or perhaps you were most fluent in, you'll be a lot more relaxed and this will be a lot more successful. If I think that there are other important things that you may be asked on the test, I will bring those up afterwards. So I will listen and we will discuss the 3 things that you thought were important. And then we might discuss a thing or 2 or 3, right, that I think is important. But the key word there is discussion. We're going to talk about what you've learned. We're going to give it some real life application. We're going to try and do some problem solving with some of the information that you've learned. So it's important that you really think about this as you are the junior scientist that has been asked to research and learn this material and come back and report to your senior scientist what you've learned. Okay? If while we're doing a DBA, you don't know the answer to something or you're not sure, it is okay for you to go, well, I'm really not sure, or I need a little help with this. That's what I'm here for. I would much rather help you during our DBA than you kind of struggle with it, get to the exam and go, oh, wow, maybe I should have asked her about that during the DBA. So let's make sure we get all the questions answered. The other thing also that we will talk about are misconceptions. There are a lot of them out there, especially when it comes to science. So we'll talk about misconceptions. We'll talk about how to address those misconceptions. And then I will give you the password that you need for your test. So lastly, again, to schedule your DBA, you're going to come here to the appointment scheduler, pick a time that works for you, and then I will look forward to talking to you then. Take care.